When it's like I go out of my mind. It's like me, baby, I've reached the pressure line.
From the land of sky blue waters, welcome back to the Sota Pod YouTube channel. Let's go, baby. Day 2 of our World Junior Hockey Championship recap show. What is up, everybody? 4 games on tap here today. And on tap here today is also ham. So shout out to, like I said, the beer refreshing. Let's go, baby. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. We're going to be doing these every single day following the last games of the World Junior Hockey Championship. Day 2, the Americans had the day off. I imagine the coach made probably bag skated them a bit today. That or like quite literally just kicked them in the ass and was like, what the heck were you doing against Norway? Look how easy the Czechs beat them here today. What are you doing, boys? So a good day off for the Americans to regroup and be like, yeah, there's some actual good teams at this tournament, a la Germany, who beat Finland, a la, well, Switzerland, who honestly looked really, really good against a talented Slovak team. We will go through the first game, the second game, the third game, and fourth, and we'll take your comments throughout these as well. My man Herbo, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. I see Hockey from Home is in the chat as well. Yeah, well, tonight, Judd'z Budz in about an hour and a half will be live on this YouTube channel as well. And I'll be sitting in for Hoppy, who's going to be away for a few weeks. What's up, Hockey from Home? Good to see you. RJ, what's up, RJ? Good to see you as well. Hockey from Home likes the 10-0. I did not. I like competitive games. Obviously Canada did great. We'll get into it. But, as a fan of a team who blows out another team 10-0, it's just like, I'm obsessed with the sport. I'm obsessed with this tournament, so I'm going to watch till the end. But like, that wasn't fun to watch, right? I'd rather see a competitive game. I would have rather it's been like, 5-2, 6-2 for Canada. Like still like a dominant victory and out shooting them by like freaking 20 or whatever it was. But it got to the point. Like, what's the Simpson meme? Like, he's already dead. But a shout out to the Nanaimo boy who got 2 goals here today, Mr. Wood. I turned off the Canada game after 5. Oh, well, I wanted to, like I said, I'm obsessed with it. You know how much of a junkie I am when it comes to sports, hockey, mixed martial arts too. I had to watch till the very end. Also, I pretty much like took off that whole slot for work. So I'm like, if I ain't working, I'm going to be watching this game. But let's get to the first game of the day. It's early, but maybe this is why they're doing it. Maybe this is why the IIHF are putting like pretty good matchups in the first 2 slots, which, overall today, I think people thought that maybe this would have been the more competitive games, but it turned out that, man, Germany and Finland was was probably the best game of the day. But again, we'll crown them that title here in a moment. Let's get to this first one here, and I'll bring it up on screen. Yes, the Minnesota Wild prospect, Servak Petrovsky, he scored, but it was a empty netter. I'm not going to say that like the goal was anything special, but he played very, very well here today. I would say that both of these teams played outstanding hockey. The Swiss surprised me, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness, did the Swiss ever play an excellent game against a Slovak team who looked very good against the Czechs, who are just a very good team and head to toe have a great roster. Switzerland, they're a fun team to watch in these tournaments. Like, they haven't been relegated. Like, they're always there, right? They're not a team that's always facing relegation. And when they do, they're usually, they're hanging in there and they make quick work or easy work of the team that's fighting to stay alive in the tournament. So I always like what the Swiss bring. Historically, they're a quick team and they put on entertaining games. So like, unlike the Latvia game against Canada earlier today, if that was Switzerland, they would have at least had 4 or 5 goals. You know what I mean? Like they at least will go out swinging. And in this one, despite not scoring, it was pretty much an even game until the end of it, right? It was so close until the end of it. Good goaltending overall. I was very, very impressed, guys. I was very, very impressed. Hanzik is looking so good. He played today and yesterday. Well, today and yesterday's game for Slovakia. And I mean, unbelievable stuff here today. The Slovaks goaltender too. Gadjon? Is that how you say his name? Gadjon? He was incredible. He made 2 out of this world saves in the third period. One with the glove, and just his awareness. His awareness was unbelievable because the Swiss actually did a really good job throughout the entire game, setting up a lot of shots. Their passing game was on point. I said at the beginning of this segment, their speed is always incredible, but man, it was such a fun game for a game that had like no scoring, right? Because the last 2 goals for Slovakia were empty netters. Man, unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable stuff. And great job here. Follow along, guys. I just have the IIHF 2024 World Juniors website on, and it's getting better every year, man. Because like I've been an absolute junkie when it comes to this tournament, like my whole life, and like every year that it seems to get better. But again, Hanzik here, he's been unbelievable for the Slovaks so far coming into this tournament. And man, he scored the lone like competitive goal here today. Again, the last 2 were Switzerland going all out, pulling the goalie twice just to get back in this to score 1. And props to the Slovaks. They were able to capitalize on the empty net. But overall, the Swiss look good. Slovak is a very good team, and they hung with them. And not only that, made it competitive pretty much until the end of the game. I would argue until the final bell, actually, because they were still attacking. They still pulled their netminder just to get that like moral victory of one final goal. Hell, maybe even, that Hail Mary of if we win the face-off in the offensive zone and we're down one, we can still maybe send this to overtime. So I tip my cap to Switzerland. They put on an incredible performance here today against the Slovaks. Before we get to game 2, let's get back to your guys' comments. What's up on the fly? Good to see you, buddy. What's up, Sweaty Easy 69? Good to see you as well. Dan, what's up, Dan? How deep of a run do you think Slovakia can realistically make? Do you think a medal is attainable, or Canada, USA, Sweden, Finland 2 out of Finland? Doesn't seem like they are a challenge at all this year. Now I know we're only 2 games in, but I could absolutely see them at minimum fighting for that silver medal. Or sorry, at most, I should say. At most, not at minimum. At most fighting for that silver medal. Gold, honestly, the United States should win the gold. They really should. It's up to them. The United States are their own worst enemy in these tournaments. Canada's going to be there, though. Based on these last 2 games, Canada's going to be there. Going into this tournament, I didn't think they'd make the semis. Well, actually, you know what? That's what's so tough about this tournament, Dan, is like I keep going in so many different directions now. Based on what I've seen so far, I'll say this. Finland doesn't have a chance. Slovakia, and this is just what I've seen watching all the teams. Slovakia, Sweden, the United States, those are still my top 3 teams. Canada's there as well. Sorry, Canada's top 4 teams. For some reason, I just don't think Canada's going to get it, man. They've just, against Latvia, they made easy work of it, but I still think they just haven't been as polished yet. You know what I mean? And they haven't been really challenged yet. Because again, it didn't really seem like Finland was challenging them. And we'll get to that game here in a moment. Did the Americans win gold yet? What's up, Gun Toting Granny? Good to see you as well. So that's just what's so crazy about this tournament, guys, is I have a lot of expectations for the United States. I really do. I think that, like I said, they're their own worst enemy. We saw it last year. And hell, maybe they don't have the strongest roster like they did last year, but neither does Canada. Neither does Canada. And even going into this tournament, Canada faced a lot of injury. But my question to you guys, and we'll get back to the live chat here. Shout out to everybody joining. My question for you guys: are Finland this bad, Or is Germany this good? I did not expect Germany to put up the fight that they did in this one. I really didn't, guys. I'm not going to lie. Let's get into this one here. And I'll share it on screen. Again, shout out to the IHF website. Just getting better and better every year, man. 4-3 final for Germany. And this wasn't one of those games where Germany had a few lucky goals and then were able to just like fight for dear life and rely on their goalie to keep the lead. Now, they did go a little bit more defensive once, 10 minutes left of the third period occurred, right? Halfway through the third period, did they kind of switch gears into a little bit more of a defensive style? Absolutely, as they should have, because going into this game, historically in the World Juniors, Germany has been 0-25. That's right. They faced Finland 25 times leading up to this game, and they lost every single time. So you better believe that they went when they had a chance to win this game, when they were winning and everything that they were doing was working defensively. You better believe that they were going to continue to play that style, and it freaking worked, ladies and gentlemen. What a tremendous game. We'll go through just the whole play-by-play resume here in a moment, but to my notes first, and then we'll get back to your guys' thoughts on this as well. What's up, Mateo and Sean? See you guys as well. Viet Oswald, let's freaking go, man. 2 goals in this one, and he had a hell of a game. He is such a G. Rasmus Kopalainen, the Minnesota Wild prospect, again, no points, -3 in this one. In the first game against Canada, I'll say that he didn't look neither good or bad. I didn't really notice him in this one. There were moments where, again, he should have been a little bit more tight defensively. Kid's got to move his feet. Again, what a tremendous performance by Germany here. Opened the scoring on a bad turnover. Finland, they capitalized on it. Germany quickly. Germany scored first on capitalizing on Finland's bad turnover, and honestly, it was Finland making mistakes most of this first half of the game that cost them. They tightened things up towards the end, but Germany at that point was running away with it. Germany at that point had honestly already downloaded all the data, for lack of a better term. They knew what their path to victory was, and they continued to employ that. So Germany with the first one, again, capitalizing on a bad turnover by Finland. Finland did get back into this one, and it basically went back and forth from there until Germany scored that fourth one to get ahead and laid down the defensive game. Germany came ready to play right out of the gate. I think they would have scored the first goal even if Finland didn't turn it over. They came out with that much of a pace. They were setting a very fast pace. And I have to imagine, like, I know they weren't trying to play like Canada, because Canada obviously just on a way higher level, but Canada beat Germany just attacking with speed, right? Germany almost kind of looked similar in that first period where they kind of had to wake up a little bit, right? Those early games, they're supposed to be early for us. They're supposed to be awake at that point playing, right? Every goal, this is another note I had. Every goal from Germany, like, was well deserved, right? Again, what I said in the opening segment, nothing was really a fluke. Every goal by a German player was well deserved and was really good. Like, there were some points where I was just like I was lifted from my seat and was like, oh, like I had an actual crazy natural celebratory reaction for Germany because it was that entertaining and hard fought on many occasions as well. To score that third one though, Finland, absolutely sick. But one thing to note too was, though, between, I'd say, what was it, 16 minutes and like the 7-minute mark of the second period, that's where Finland, in my opinion, looked their best. That's when they really ramped things up as far as skating faster, getting a little bit more physical, and really shooting on net. Instead of trying to find that perfect play, instead of skating into Germany's defensive traps, they were just, all right, we're just going to start peppering. And it worked. It worked until Germany was able to tighten things up and and answer back themselves. But going in to the second period, I believe it was around, what did I say, 18-20. I looked up at the shot count, and Germany was out shooting Finland 14-6. Germany was the better team today. Simple as that. Finland made way too many mistakes, and I quite frankly think they underestimated Germany. I really do. And coming off a loss to Canada, you should have they should have been like chomping at the bit to feast on a lower ranked team. But instead they seemed a little tired. And man, I'm just so happy for Team Germany here. They celebrated so hard, getting their first win in history in the World Junior Hockey Championship against Germany. They are now 1-25 against the Germans, and they made history here today. Viet Oswald, like I said, with 2 goals. Roman Ketcher had a good game too. And again, this goal, sick by Sami Bao. And Holotunen, his goal was really nice as well. Again, when Finland scored, they were nice goals. They were nice plays. They are a dangerous team. They're always a dangerous team coming into this tournament. But what Germany did today was incredible. It was incredible. All right, back to the comments we go. I never underestimate the Germans, but you won't beat me 26 times straight. Watching the highlights, Finland's goalie didn't plug up the holes. At least 2 of the goals went right through them. I will say yes, but that one on the left side, that was an absolute snipe show. And I didn't think and this is me underestimating the Germans. I didn't think he could shoot that quick, or just shoot that hard and let the shot off that quick. So I'll still give credit to what I said there, or I'll still stand by what I said there and say that all those goals were well deserved, especially those ones just like taking a note out of Canada's book, going north south Hudson Bay row, hard to the net. Tomorrow, 2024 World Junior Championship, Switzerland versus USA and Germany versus Sweden. Now, I am so excited based off of today, RJ, to see those 2 games tomorrow, because Switzerland looked damn good. Let's see if they can surprise the Americans, much like I think they surprised the Slovaks. And let's see if Germany's the real deal, going up against arguably the biggest favorite to win this tournament next to Canada, which is Sweden this year. I think it's the US. I'm going to keep saying that, by the way. I'm such a fan of Adam Gajan. He was so good. So good. Switzerland would have won the game if he didn't make those 2 saves in the third period. Now, Switzerland's goalie was good too, but Gajan stood out so much more. Unbelievable. Finland isn't as deep this year as they've been recently, but I still thought they'd be better than they've been so far. Czechia can be a sneaky contender too. Czechia just is going to give me an aneurysm, dude. So far, they've been hot and cold. Didn't look like they really didn't look that good yesterday. For one whole period, they did, but then the Slovaks controlled them from the second period on. Today, once they started running with it, oh my goodness, were they on a roll? And we'll get into that. We'll get into that game next here, because Yuri Kulich is an absolute beast, ladies and gentlemen. An absolute beast. A menace. And he's tearing up the AHL right now as well. So definitely you can see that, him playing with the big boys and actually doing really well. He's a New York prospect. Playing in Rochester. He's damn good, dude. Sweden's going to curb stomp Germany. Well, I'm very interested to see now. I'm very interested to see. But let's get to this next game. Keep the comments coming, guys. I want to hear your thoughts on every game as we get through them as well. And honestly, despite it being the highest scoring game of the day, I'm probably going to let you guys drive the bus on the Canada game, because we'd be here all day if I was going to break down every play to every goal that Canada scored. Okay, they ran away with it. We'll get to my unfiltered and honestly incorrect thoughts and predictions going into that game. But let's start with this one. This one was, what's a good way to describe this one? Fun until it wasn't. Okay, I am all in on Norway right now, based on what they did to the Americans. And again, I think it was more the Americans shooting themselves in the foot, but still, we'll run with the Norway narrative here. I'm all in on Norway, man. I don't want to see them get relegated. I don't want to see them I want to see them next year again. And it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad until until a certain sequence, okay? Until a certain sequence. It was very close and competitive until midway, actually towards the end of the second period. Funny enough, much like it was in the American game. Again, I just got to give credit to two Czech players right off the bat. Edward Sale and Jiri Kulich. I already said Kulich, unbelievable. Already plays pro in North America right now. But Edward Sealy, they had themselves an unbelievable game. Kulich with the hat trick, but yeah, Sally, however you pronounce his name. Edward, he was unbelievable today. The fourth goal by the Czechs was the tipping point, guys. I mean, again, I don't even really have to break down the first part of the game. It was back and forth as far as the play went. I would say that Norway wasn't as defensive or didn't look as good defensively as they did in the first period like they did against the Americans, but the speed was there again, which is really, really awesome to see. The speed was there. The speed was matching that of the Czech players, but the skilled Czech players really, really showed up again after this sequence. Let's get into it because this was the end of the game. Okay. Anybody who watched this game today, they're nodding along going, yeah, no, 100%. And for those of you who didn't, if you rewatch this game, you'll be like, oh, okay, yep, that's what he's talking about here. So right before the Slovaks took over and started to go on the run to, I guess, just to begin the blowout, right? They turned it over and they turned it over when they were up 2-0 in the second period, and then that's when Norway scored their first one, and it was relatively early as well. But it was a pretty bad turnover by the Slovaks, and Norway took advantage of it, making the game 2-0. It was an absolute beautiful shot by, I believe, the captain Johannes Lukeberg from Norway. Unbelievable shot on the outside, and you could see that the team was buzzing because they've been working hard and it was pretty competitive up until that point. So taking advantage of the turnover was great for them. The Czechs made it 3-1 literally a few seconds later. And right after the Czechs again scored 3-1, they made a mistake again. Norway capitalized on it, almost scored shorthanded. And then they turned it over, and the Czechs scored another one. All that occurring in 30 freaking seconds or 37 seconds. And I remember the broadcast was like, "This is crazy. So much has happened here." So to sum it up, 2-0. Okay, 2-0. Czechs turn it over. Norway scores. The Czechs score. They get a power play. Norway capitalizes on them messing up there. They almost score. Norway turns it over. Bad turnover. And right in front of the net, the Czechs scored. They make it 4-1 in literally 37 seconds. So after that, you could just see that all the confidence, just confidence in their own play, going that, look, we've been playing hard despite going down 2-0 in the first period. Most of the second, we scored one. All that buzz from that first goal, and all the confidence that they had, like I said, despite again the Czechs making it 3-1, it still seemed that they were good to go. But after that turnover, it was just over. After that turnover and that goal, it was over, man. And the Czechs just ran away with it again. Shout out to Jiri Kulich. He was my star of the game. He was everywhere. He was scoring on all his opportunities, hitting the net when he shot. And yeah, once that team got a little swagger, once that team got a little heat, it was good night, Jim Kite for Norway. All right, we'll get to the last game here in a moment. Jesus Canada, fucking lads sideways. What's up, Reaper Jones, my man? Good to see you. Yeah, it was a one-sided affair. Like I said, pretty much after the first period, around the 17-minute mark of period 2, 3 minutes in, it was over. Kulich has been a dog in the AHL, 16 goals in 23 games, tied with Adam Gaudette, 27 games played. And Pierrick Dubé, 30. He's on another planet. Buffalo got a good one. Dude, he's so good. He is so good. And yeah, he absolutely took over in this one. He led the charge of the blowout. Oh, thank you so much, Guntone Granny. Thank you so much. In an hour's time, we will be live back here on the channel for Judd'z Budz. Z will be Z is the star of that show, so he'll be talking about not only players to watch in next year's draft coming up who are playing well, not playing well, those to keep your eye on for the 2024 National Hockey League draft. We will also dive into the Minnesota Wild Prospects playing in this tournament, 2 playing very well, 1 not so much. We kind of already highlighted that in this show. And then we'll just talk about the World Junior Championships in general. Obviously, take your guys' comments as well. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys as always. So this one was kind of a heartbreaker for me. I was rooting for Norway, and after that sequence, it was tough to watch because it was just like another one and another one and another one. And I imagine fans of Latvia felt the same. Now I'm gonna eat crow. Hit me with the hate comments. Hit me with the fucking Atoda Soisha. I thought that it was gonna be a closer game. I really did. I thought that Latvia was going to hold Canada to 5 at most. And I said that because the way that Sweden played Latvia yesterday was they played a very Sedin type of game. They held on to the puck and they took Latvia for a freaking skate. Instead of attacking the net, bringing the puck into the offensive zone, we saw countless times where Sweden would carry it around, make some nifty passing places or passing plays for the purpose of tiring out Latvia, who was skating with them for most of the game. By the third period yesterday, Sweden-Latvia, that's when Sweden really just tired them out and Sweden took over that game. I thought going into this one that Latvia's defense against Sweden, again, when Sweden attacked just straight up down the middle, actually looked pretty good. They had a decent wall, and their goaltender looked pretty good as well. And their goaltender did all he could do in this one against Canada. I thought that Canada's just straight up attack with speed would win them the game and win them the game by a solid margin. But I thought that maybe Latvia's defense would be better equipped for a team who just were going to nonstop attack versus a team that was literally going to drag them into a bag skate. Boy, was I wrong. And again, maybe Canada's just better than I gave them credit for going into this tournament, because I didn't even think they were going to make it out of the semis, ladies and gentlemen. But oh boy, did they look just outstanding in this one. There's not much more to say, guys. There's not much more to say. Latvia at one point had only 5 shots on net, and the second period was almost done. And I think at that point, Canada wasn't up like too much. Like I think it was like 4-0 or 5-0. And I was like, you know what? Even if Latvia doesn't like get another shot on net, like they're playing as good a defense as I expected them to play. And I'm proud of them. I'm proud of them. Oh boy, after I tweeted that, the floodgates just opened and Canada absolutely destroyed them. So competitive first period is what I'll say for Latvia and Canada. I mean, what do you want me to say? They're talented.
Exactly that.
They're talented. Like where else do you want me to break down their play here? I feel like it's not fair for the Latvians to just like swoon over all these Canadian goals, because some of them are absolutely amazing, but let's be honest, some of the nicest goals came from a very tired Latvian team here. Let's just quickly highlight through the goal scores, and then I'll leave it to you guys to comment in the live chat for a bit, and then we'll end a little earlier than we did yesterday. And moving forward, we'll try to go an hour post game show, daily recap of the 2024 World Junior Championships. But I gotta help prep for a show here. Judd'z Budz, episode 93. I sound like Z there. I'm going to just prep the show. 93, yes, 93 coming up, and I'm sitting in for Hoppy here today. So join us for that in an hour's time. Let me just bring this up on screen so you guys can follow along. Here we go. The goals from Canada. Carson Rekop had an unbelievable game, but again, his nicest goals came when Latvia was like dead tired, just done. Same with Connor Geet. Like Connor Geet, like they're all good players, right? But it's hard to be like, oh yeah, they're gonna make the NHL next year, boy, when they're just absolutely beating the dead horse that was Latvia here today. Shout out to Matthew Wood against Mr. Wood, coming out of Nanaimo, one of the late additions, Nanaimo, BC, where I'm from, Vancouver Island, one of the late additions to the roster. Macklin Celebrini looked friggin' awesome. And again, if Latvia, if this was like a blowout against like a team like Finland, like Sweden or whatever, then I'd be singing Carson Rekop's praise this like crazy. But for the most part, same with Connor Geekie. Their nicest goals were when Latvia was like pretty much, like I said, it was beating a dead horse at that point. We'll quickly tee up the next games for tomorrow, but before that, let's get back to the live chat here. What's up, Lindsay? Good to see you. She writes M. Okay. Switzerland, USA. Now, again, yesterday, looking at this schedule on this stream, I was like, Switzerland, USA should be an easy win for the States based on how Switzerland played the frickin' Slovaks today. The United States better be ready. They better be ready, because though Switzerland didn't score, they threw everything and the kitchen sink at Slovakia. And if it wasn't for Gajan, if it wasn't for the excellent goaltending by the Slovaks in the third, Switzerland would have won that game. So the United States, they cannot shoot themselves in the foot in this one. They have to come out just absolutely swinging. They have to not underestimate this Swiss team. And based on how the Germans beat the Finns for the first time in 25 games, this is good. This is the biggest test for them. They're going up against Sweden, who arguably is the favorite to win this tournament. This will be a huge test for the Germans. This will see if the Finns are really just that bad or if the Germans are good. Like, if this is even like a 3-1, a 4-2 win for Sweden, Germany is a problem going forward for the rest of the team. So those are the only two games tomorrow. And we actually have an earlier or a later start, which is nice. We don't have to wake up at 6 a.m. to brew our coffee and get ready for 6:30 or 7 a.m. starts. We here on Central Time, we are ready to go 10 a.m. for us. So those on Pacific Time, they can get up and watch it as well. Metkio is underrated. He is very, very good, Ty. He is very, very good. Man, I love this tournament so much. Ty, thank you so much for joining. I just absolutely love this tournament so much. And I'm not going to lie, usually like I nerd out like weeks in advance, like listening to all the TSN features, listening to basically all hockey media and content I can that like runs down like where every player is on every team. This year, like I did a little bit of homework. I always do. I always want to know who some of these guys are to keep an eye on things like that. But I mostly just, other than surface level knowledge, I mostly have just been soaking it up as a fan without any like pressure I put on myself to know everything like Z just does naturally. The guy's a wealth of hockey knowledge. His show's starting in 55 minutes. Join us back here on this channel then. It's going to be awesome. I've been really just getting up, making coffee, and soaking it in as the holiday tradition that it usually is in my life in Canada. It's a little bit different here in the States. Everyone's watching bowl games, not junior hockey. But those in the chat here, the real hockey fans, you guys are watching this tournament. You guys are even taking days off to work to watch this tournament, much like me, and I absolutely love it. So we'll put a bow on this one here today. We're typically going to go an hour for our daily recaps moving forward, but I got a show to help prep for. Join us at 6:30 Central Time here for Judd'z Budz, episode 93. We're going to dive into more World Junior talk, Minnesota Wild prospect talk, Minnesota College hockey prospect talk, and all your comments and questions in the live chat as well. I'm filling in for Hoppy. Z will be here. He is the star of the show. It is his show, Judd'z Budz. So join us in just under an hour's time for that here. If you haven't already, smash that like button on this video, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell for notifications so you never miss an upload. Daily videos will be dropping probably Thursday and Friday into the weekend, into next week again. We've just been focusing on the World Juniors and these recap shows daily, which is why we haven't been posting as many posted videos as we do daily. But back to those here at the end of the week going into the weekend, and we'll continue our junior hockey recaps here daily. At VI Sports Talk on Twitter is where you can find me. You can find the Sota Pod at the Sota Pod here on YouTube and Facebook. If you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on Twitter, get your ass over to YouTube, subscribe to the channel. Like I said, daily content, live streams weekly. That is where Judd'z Budz channel or Judd'z Budz podcast first airs. If you want to watch the video, if you want to interact with us before or instead of listening to it via podcast and just audio form. If you want to find us on Twitter, we are at Sota Pod. Drop the fuck you to those hackers. Back in less than an hour's time on this channel. Smash that like button and subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow for day 3 of the World Junior Hockey Championship recap here on the Sota Pod YouTube channel. And like I said, in less than an hour's time, I'm filling in for Hoppy in this seat here next to Z for Judd'z Budz. Smash that like button and subscribe, folks, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.